It is over.
What's up, everyone? We are back with another episode of Hot Tag with Brandy Smith. I am Jeff Watson, and we have Brandy with us today, and we're going to do something a little bit different today. We are going to do an Ask Brandy show. So, Brandy will answer your questions here live. Um, I'm putting a thing across the screen there. If you want to ask Brandy a question, use the hashtag Ask Brandy. I ask that everyone keep the comments appropriate or questions appropriate. Um, I'm also going to say that I'm dealing with some very bad weather here in South Carolina. So we may have a repeat of the never ending stream. Just letting everyone know that. But if that happens, I'm pretty sure Brandy will continue to talk and we'll figure something out in terms of closing out the stream. Okay, so before I bring Brandy in, I just want to shout a few people out. We've got Kevin Correa, Darren, how are you? Lennon Young, famous KJ Carter, Days fan. Let's see who else. Hayden Garrett, Sonny Wolf. And we've also got Nels in the building. We've got Johnny Bates, Big Boy Dally, Austin 316, Dave in Real Life, James Chadwick. Yeah. So thank all of you for joining. Hopefully, hopefully everyone's having a good day. We've got Sean Rousset, we've got Mike Lister in here as well now. So thank you all for joining, and I'm gonna bring in Brandy. Brandy, how are you today?
Hey guys, thank you so much for showing up. As Michael Cole would say, I am in an undisclosed medical facility. I'm doing better than I was in the beginning of the week, and I feel your prayers, I feel your comments, and I really appreciate it. But look, before we start asking and answering some questions, I gotta comment on something that was in the stream last night. I gotta comment on this wings thing. Okay, I'm all about some wings. So Joe, boo, boo, Joe. And also, Jeff, I
Thank-
got a question for you. We're both from
yes,
the South, and y'all were talking about RC Cola last night. Have you ever done the
yeah,
peanut thing with RC Cola?
absolutely, and Pepsi and
Nah,
Coke.
you got to do it with Coke or RC, not Pepsi. For those of you who
I've
don't
done it
know,
with all.
in the South, people will put peanuts in their RC Cola or their Coke, and they'll drink it, and at the end, then they'll eat the peanuts. And so I wondered if Jeff had ever done that.
Yeah, I've done it several times, especially with like Coke and RC Cola. Definitely done it with that. So
That's awesome.
um, yeah, yeah. So it's really good. Um, and you guys should try it
You should
sometime.
totally try it. It's really good.
Um,
And guys,
it-
at some point during the stream, my nurse snuck me a chocolate bar. So at some point, you know, hop in with what your favorite chocolate bars are. I think that'd be cool.
absolutely, absolutely. So, um, yes, Big Boy Dally says, "Wait, you put peanuts in your soda? What kind of peanuts?"
Usually they're like the ones that just come in the bag at the convenience store that are already salted and they're out of the shell, and you just pour them in your Coke.
It really is delicious.
It really is. It's a Southern
All
thing.
right, so yeah. So we've got a our first question here comes from Sunny Wolf. She says, "Does Brandy listen to TV shows? Favorite book she listened to? Favorite movie she listened to? Any pets?"
Girl, you're on it
It's a lot.
tonight. Yes, I do watch certain television shows. There's a lot I don't watch because if somebody's not there to tell me what's going on, it makes it more difficult. One of my favorites is Outlander because I've read all the books. Um, I listen to as much wrestling as I can, and I prefer certain commentators because I feel like they call more of the action than maybe some of the other ones out there. But that's something I listen to. If I catch an episode of the X-Files, I'll definitely tune into that. Books. You guys know I listen to books all the time. I listen to all kinds of books. I listen to sci-fi, historical fiction, biographies, romance, whatever I'm just in the mood for at the time. Movies, yeah, I love to go to the movies. I love the experience. I love the sound. I love popcorn. There are some movies that are harder for me to go to, because people get irritated if you have somebody sitting there talking and telling you what's happening. So I don't get a lot of action. I don't get a lot out of movies that don't have a lot of dialogue. But yeah, I enjoy movies.
Awesome.
Was there anything else, Sonny? Did I cover everything?
I think you got everything.
Okay.
Oh, pets. Do
Pets.
you have any pets?
I do not currently have any pets. I'm allergic to cats. I love dogs. There's a lot of blind people who have seeing eye dogs. They're leader dogs, and I would love to have one, but I live in a rural area, and so the service animal would not have the chance to work as much as it would need to. But once I get in a bigger city, that's something I definitely want to do is get a leader dog.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So our next question comes from Nels, who's watching from Twitch. Nels asks, she says, I want to ask Brandy, we know she can enjoy wrestling because of commentary and sometimes days. Is there anything else she is a fan of that makes it easier for her to watch with being blind?
Oh, geez. I love the WWE network, and I want to learn more about TNA, so I'm trying to decide if I'm going to get the TNA app or Impact or whatever it's called, or if I'm going to get Fight. I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out. I love it, especially if I'm watching with somebody and they know me well enough to tell me, certain things. Or if I'm on the phone with somebody and we're both watching the same wrestling thing, I love that too.
Awesome. Our next question is from Darren. Darren asks, Brandy, what is your favorite theme song dating 1985 to 98?
I'm assuming you're talking about wrestling.
We're going to go with that, yes.
Oh, gosh. I'm going to have to go with Boy Toy.
There you go. A little Shawn Michaels action there.
Yeah, I wish I could see the dance that goes along with it, but, I'm just going to stick with the theme song.
Listen, whatever you picture in your head is probably better. It's probably even better. Especially back in the day.
Yeah, I'd love to go up to Sean and be like, Sean, can I use the Braille method? Yeah.
So if you could, we've got a couple people asking how you're feeling right now. So how are you feeling?
Oh, guys, look, this is no joke. Please be careful. Please wear your mask. Please do what your local lawmakers and your national lawmakers are telling you to do, because it looks like I've gotten COVID a second time. Like I had it and it mutated, and I also have pneumonia in both lungs, which is a common diagnosis right now for people who have COVID. And another complication is that I have migraines. And so they're having trouble discerning, okay, am I having a migraine or is it the COVID headache? And so there's some stuff that they're doing that's helping, and there's some stuff that they're doing that's not helping. And I'm not getting a lot of sleep, but I'm hanging in there. I'm trying to stay positive, because the sooner I get better, the sooner I get to see my little boy. And the sooner I get better, the sooner I get to have human interaction. I know you guys, I'm assuming most of you out there have vision and can see, and you get so much out of body language and facial expression. Well, I don't get any of that. So voice means a great deal to me. Human touch means a great deal to me. It's how I get, all those things that I miss otherwise. And so, not having the opportunity to talk to a lot of people, or to talk to a lot of people, or just have a hug or something, it's really hard for me right now, because that's my communication.
Gotcha. I'm sure it is very tough, but you have such a positive outlook. So, I know when I'm talking to you, you're always kind of upbeat and looking forward to things to come. So, I know that positive attitude helps out a lot.
Well, I know
Mike,
you got a choice. You can make lemonade out of lemons, or you can just have lemons. So it's your choice.
our next question comes from Mike Lister, and
Mike, what's up, buddy?
this is a a loaded question, as we ask sometimes on our show. And he also, this is what he asked. He says, "What is your favorite wrestling pay-per-view?" And he says it's really great hearing your voice.
Okay, my favorite wrestling what?
Pay-per-view.
Oh, dude. All right, we got 3 here. Okay, it's a tie between WrestleMania 12, WrestleMania 13, and the King of the Ring with the famous Hell in a Cell match.
Gotcha.
You guys knew that match was coming. Come on.
Sonny Wolf asks, "What is your favorite type of music to listen to?"
So, see, we're getting in on what you guys were talking about last night, and I was trying to type in as much as I could. I like a lot of different things. If it makes me feel something, I like it. Like my mom, she brought me up on Motown and Southern rock, and so I love Otis Redding, I love Al Green, and I love the Allman Brothers. If you guys don't know who the Allman Brothers is, you got to check them out. There's some 80s stuff. Journey, I love Journey. I love Aerosmith. I love country music. Anything from Johnny Cash to oh god, to Dierks Bentley, to there's it's a lot of stuff. I love Heart. So if it's something that makes me feel something, I really like it.
Yes, definitely. Allman Brothers. If you haven't checked them out, please do. John Dioria asked, well, I'm sorry, Johnny Bates. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Johnny Bates says, "Hey, Brandy, do you like indie wrestling? If so, what is your favorite indie match?"
I'm not familiar with a lot of indie wrestling, but if I could go back, I'd want to see some of the younger Daniel Bryan stuff, some of the earlier CM Punk stuff, and this is not going to be a popular answer, but I'd like to see some of the younger Bayley stuff too, because I understand she was really good as Davina Rose. So
yes, absolutely. Wrestling Days fan asked, "Brandy, what's your favorite?" No, sorry, I'm skipping ahead of myself again. Sorry about that, guys. John Dioria. Brandy, what do you like most about Days?
I like Days' voice. First of all, I also like his sense of humor. I think that's one thing that really stands out in his streams. And I get more from what he says than some of the commentary on the actual shows. So that's really helpful. And I love that he's becoming more aware of different people that can be in his audience, and that he's thinking more about what he can describe. So I really appreciate that. Excuse me, guys. I can't help it.
You're fine. Don't worry about that. Wrestling Days fan asked, "Brandy, what's your favorite?" This is a really loaded question. Brandy, what's your favorite moment in wrestling history?
Oh gosh. You guys are gonna have to go look this up, but it's one of the funniest things I think I've seen in wrestling. But there's this one point where Bruce Pritchard comes out with this other character, and it's based on Dusty Rhodes, and God, I can't remember the name. You know what I'm talking about, Jeff? He did it in like the mid '90s, maybe. Oh God,
You said it again.
Rio Ralph or Rio something. Rio
Okay.
Rogers.
Yeah, Rio Roger.
That's one of my favorite things because it's low key. A lot of people don't know about it or like it, but I thought it was hilarious. But as far as matches, this was not the first time Andre was slammed, but when Hogan slammed Andre, I loved that moment. Um, and man, Brett and Owen. I gotta throw Brett and Owen in there.
Gotcha. So the next question comes from James Chadwick. He asked, when did Brandy get into wrestling and who got you into it?
I don't know if I told you guys this, but I grew up as a triplet, and so my dad kind of could do more physical stuff with my brother and sister. You know, play golf, play baseball. Some of the stuff I would try to do, but really, it really didn't go well. But so he would watch wrestling on whatever channels we had available. We didn't have cable or satellite till I was 15, but so whatever would come in on the regular TV stations, he would turn on wrestling, and I started, excuse me, watching with him, and it was one thing that we could identify with each other with. And growing up, he had a hard time, I think, with having a blind child and having a hard time connecting, but that was something that we came together over. And I was probably 7, I think, when I first started watching. So I've been watching for 31 years now.
That is awesome. Let's see. Rob said, what are your favorite YouTube channels other than our community?
Dude, okay, a lot of us who like wrestling like paranormal, so I'm going to shout out some of my favorite paranormal podcasts that also have YouTube channels: Graveyard Tales, Hillbilly Horror Stories, Astonishing Legends. If you guys love some great ghost stories and some stuff that's based on historical events, check those out. Of course, I'm a big fan of Conrad Thompson's Table of Podcasts. They're also on YouTube. And have some behind the scenes videos as well. So I love Arn, I love Bruce, I love JR, and Tony and Eric are my last 2 favorites just because of the language content. I think that they can still tell a great story without having to throw in F-bombs every other word. But I really enjoy those. There's this guy that Nails put me onto. I can't remember his name, but he's a DJ, and he's got different stuff on his YouTube channel. He's got a really incredible voice, and he's done some really great stuff on the History TNA.
Okay.
Really important guy. I keep his name, but Nails knows who I'm talking about.
Okay.
And
Maybe
I'm giving a
say
shout out
it.
I'm giving a shout out to Dave in Real Life, buddy. I haven't had a chance to listen yet, but it's on my list of things to do.
Gotcha. There you go. Yeah, and if you haven't subscribed to Dave in Real Life's channel, please go do so. Support him. He's one of our very own in the community, so please go and support his channel. Famous KJ Carter asked, who is your favorite wrestler in WWF or WWE then and now?
The Honky Tonk Man. No, I'm kidding. I'm absolutely kidding. I'm going to say the Macho Man for then. And now I'm going to say, I'm going to pick a woman and a man. For the women, I'm going to say Natalia, because she's such a workhorse, and she does so much for the business in general. And for the male, for now, I'm saying Finn Balor.
Okay. The guy that you were talking about is Foul Original.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
And Jeff, I got to give you a shout out. Your Movies to Be Murdered By podcast, I really enjoy.
Thank you. Shameless
So,
plug there. If you like
yeah,
horror
no, give
movies,
Jeff a shout out.
I am on a horror movie podcast. It's on every single podcast platform. It's called Movies to Be Murdered By. So yeah, go check it out if you like horror movies. Okay, so Darren asked, what would you change in today's wrestling scene?
The scripted promos. I think you got so much more when they were not as scripted. Stone Cold got to do his own thing. They let obviously they let DX do their own thing. You certainly wouldn't have had a scripted Macho promo, or you go back and watch Mick Foley for when he was Cactus Jack, when he was uh, Mankind, when he was Dude Love. That was him. And I really feel like you lose a lot of the creativity of the individual stars when they don't get to put a little bit more of themselves out there. Like Jake the Snake, you couldn't have scripted Jake the Snake. Okay, so just imagine if somebody like Bray, was a little less scripted or a little less engineered, or somebody like somebody like Kevin Owens, who really, those are both two people that stand out to me that have, extremely great mic skills. And if you just let them have their own way, I think they'd go even higher.
Gotcha. Let's see here. Nell says, have you ever thought of writing your own book on your experiences as a blind person?
I have, and I've tried, and sometimes I get a little emotional about it. That's why I think, starting to put a couple videos out there on YouTube about, just different experiences I have. I think that has been really good. Like today, let me tell you guys what happened. I was walking around my hospital room, and I was trying to find something, and my IV got pulled on my hospital gown, and it pulled out. And I'm like, oh crap! Who else is this going to happen to? And I called my nurse, and they had to come fix it. And I said, what else is going to happen today? And she said, don't ask that question, because something else will happen. So I feel like if I had on an insider's hospital gown, that wouldn't have happened. But it's just a theory.
Yeah, that sucks. Getting having your IV pulled out.
I know, right? It
That
wasn't,
sucks.
and I couldn't tell how bad it was bleeding, and it was just one of those Brandy moments. My best friend, one of my best friends, the one who just had surgery, she says, we just need to surround you with bubble wrap and orange cones. So, she's totally right.
Sean Rousset asked for your thoughts on horror movies.
I love them. I especially love more the ones with a psychological component. The original Psycho, Silence of the Lambs. I get some stuff out of slashers, as long as there's, like I said, somebody around to give me the basics of what's going on. You can't go wrong with the original Halloween. Brother, I'm going to get heat for this. The Scream trilogy. I really enjoyed the Scream trilogy. Guys, do not give me heat for that. Stigmata, I think I would have enjoyed a lot more if, like, I'd had somebody to, who was next to me going, okay, this is what's going on. But I liked that storyline. There's some stuff I just can't watch. Like, I'm with Joe. I can't watch The Exorcist, or, but there's some stuff I really like. Like, here's a sleeper that probably not many people talk about. If you haven't seen What Lies Beneath with Michelle Pfeiffer and Harrison Ford, go watch that. That's good. And then I
Yeah,
also
that
like
is.
I also like documentaries and movies and stuff that are based on true hauntings. Like I think the movie is called An American Haunting, and it's about the story of the Bell Witch in Tennessee. Uh, the Conjurings, they're supposedly based on real stories. I haven't seen those because there's a lot of action involved that I would need somebody to tell me what's going on. But um, yeah, like I watched a documentary a couple months ago about the Amityville horror, and it was really good.
Yeah.
So I like stuff. I like a lot of stuff that's based on true stories.
So the next question comes from Darren. He asks, "Who is the better character, Gangrel, Boogeyman, or Papa Shango?"
You got to go with Papa Shango, not only because of the character, but based on who he becomes later.
Gotcha. Next question is from Big Boy Dally. When do you think Otis is going to cash in, and who is it on? Will he win or lose?
I hope he wins. First of all, because I love his character. He's kind of the anti-hero, because he's not the one you would expect. I don't know when he's going to cash in. I don't necessarily know that it matters. And I don't know necessarily that it matters who he cashes in on. I think it's just the expectation of what will happen when he does. And I hope there's a really good build for it.
Gotcha. I hope he wins too, because my goodness, I love Otis. I really do.
I do too.
Sunny Wolf asked, "Does Brandy believe in spirits?"
Okay. So, I, all my life, I've had a very strong belief in faith and in God, or if you want to call it a higher power. So, I've heard stories, people, sit around at slumber parties, tell ghost stories. And, so I never was sure, but I'm one of those people that's like, I don't think I want to know. But my last house in South Georgia that I lived in with my son and my now ex-husband, stuff would happen in the house, and I would think it was my son or my husband at the time, and it wasn't. Like I would be in a room and hear something, and nobody else was in the room but me, and it started to happen. It started to really freak me out because I'm like, I don't have any conception of this, or I don't have any kind of baseline for this. I don't know what's going on. And it freaked me out. I mean, stuff would sound like it was falling and nothing would fall. One night I thought my husband was going down the hall and he was asleep. So it's really creepy, especially if you're a blind person and something's going on and you're like, wait a minute, nobody else is here. Uh, and this, guys, I'm sitting here and I kid you not, I was on the phone with my mother a couple nights ago and she's asked me how I'm doing. We're talking about, okay, what they're going to do. And the sink in my hospital turns on and then turns off. I am absolutely serious. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to try not to think about this and try to go to sleep.
That's a little freaky.
It was a little freaky. It was, yeah, definitely. But if you think about it, I mean, like, you don't know who's died in the room you're in. You don't know what serious trauma has happened in the room that you're in. So it's a
Very true.
little unusual. So, guys, I don't know. I just know that I've had a couple of experiences that I can't explain. And I'm just gonna leave it there.
Gotcha. Mike Lister asked, if Bobby the Brain Heenan was managing in the WWE today, who would you have him manage?
Wow, I don't. That's a tough one. Could you imagine him with Braun Strowman?
That would be
Or
really good.
that? Yeah, because he did what he did with Andre, and I could see him doing just as good with Braun Strowman. Oh gosh, somebody who's also really comedic, like he is or he was. I could see a really good mesh there. Can you imagine if he had managed Santino Marella?
Wow. Yeah, that would have been hilarious.
That would have been just one of those things that you would not be able to forget.
Yeah, that would have been just so hilarious. So
I can see
hilarious.
him. I can see him manage Otis.
That would be cool.
Yeah,
That would have been really cool.
yeah.
Let's see. James Chadwick asked, should WWE sign Tessa Blanchard?
I feel like that she's going to be signed somewhere regardless. And I would love to see her, you know, in something just because of her lineage. I mean, her father was outstanding. Okay, he was a part of the Four Horsemen. She's got a great wrestling lineage. It just depends on who wants to take a risk on it and feels like they're taking a risk. So I don't know. She could show up in Impact. She could show up in AEW. She could show up in WWE. But I think she'd show up in maybe Impact or AEW before WWE.
See, our next question here is from Nels. Um, do you get a good impression of someone by their voice? She says, I remember when Gangrel first spoke, people thought his voice didn't suit him.
So do I think that somebody's voice doesn't suit them? Is that the question?
Well, do you get a good impression of someone by their voice? Like when you hear someone's voice, how does that process work for you? Like, do you kind of picture in your mind what they look like, what you would think they look like, or how does that
Okay,
work?
let me give you an example. Okay, you hear Undertaker as the Undertaker. Okay, you get an impression in your head, or at least I do, based on his voice. You're like, okay, here's a little darker character. Here's a little more gruff character. But then so you go and you watch the documentary and you hear Taker's real voice, and you're like, oh, this is a good old boy, you know, or Stone Cold. You hear Stone Cold, and he's pretty much himself inside the ring and outside the ring. Uh, Somebody's voice that I've really appreciated is DDP's, because the enthusiasm and the love that he has for the business just comes through his voice. Um, or Jake, you go back and listen to some of those old Jake promos, and you realize, okay, here's a darker character. He's got that sinister edge, and there's just some stuff like that you can't recreate, and it's just lightning in a bottle.
Right. Uh, quick yes or no here from on Darren's question. He he says maybe controversial, but did they really land on the moon or not?
Yes, I believe so.
All right. Let's see here. Sunny Wolf says, my friend's house is still. I just lost that somehow because I can't keep up with everyone. My friend's house is still haunted. I saw a shadow person before, tall, shadowy, and with a hat, walk fast.
That's what's really creepy for me about it too. Is like, my mom and my sister, for instance, they don't believe in this kind of stuff at all. But one of the last times that they were at my former house, they were in the guest room and they're like, Brandy, we saw these shadows moving on the wall and we didn't know what it was. And I'm like, I don't know. So, if something ever did appear in front of me or manifest itself, I don't know. I just know what I heard. And let me just say, okay, as a blind person, I have a friend who calls it a spidey sense. It's easier to kind of pick up on vibes or how somebody's feeling or a vibe in a room, but I just know that whenever I went into that house, the vibe was totally different. It was almost like there was a pressure in the air. So maybe that's another thing you guys can think about. Like, go into a room and close your eyes and see what you notice. See it, or, go into a room and have your eyes closed and where you hear somebody having a conversation, see what you pick up. See if you can pick up on feelings. See if you can pick up on vibes.
Next question comes from Kelly Faulkner.
Curly,
Best
my brother
manager,
man.
Best manager of all time.
You said you were going to give me some hard questions. Sherry Martell.
It's a good shout.
Sherry
It's
Martell.
a real good shout. Austin 316. What else do you like besides wrestling?
A lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Starbucks.
I mean, you kind of talked about movies and music earlier, but you said Starbucks.
Starbucks. Yeah.
There you
You
go.
guys, I'd kill for a cup of coffee right now. Oh, they haven't let me have coffee in the hospital, you guys. I need some caffeine. No, dude, like, I'm fans of all kinds of stuff. I'm fans of college football. I can't see football, but hey, I pick up on enough of it to be a fan. You guys know I'm a Georgia Bulldog fan. Uh, you guys know I love books. I really enjoy documentaries. Like, I don't have regular TV. I use different apps like Netflix or Hulu or YouTube TV or Amazon Prime, and so I'm able to get a really good mix of things to listen to where I don't have to rely so much on the visual. So I really appreciate that. I really appreciate podcasts, and of course, I love my books. So shout out to Audible.
Wrestling Days fan asks, "What's your opinion on Jeff Hardy winning the Universal Championship one more time? Personally, I do want it."
That's tough. I love the Hardys the best when they're together. So that's kind of tough. They so many people have thought of Jeff as kind of the workhorse and Matt as kind of the creative side. You know, I want Matt to get it as much as I want Jeff to get it. Obviously, that's not possible now, but that's kind of how I feel. I feel like they're both equally deserving, and I really don't like this kind of substance storyline they have going on with him right now. I don't think it's right, and anyway, so that's my opinion on that.
Yeah, I absolutely hate his current storyline. I won't further elaborate though. That's for another time. Um, Darren says, "I used to be a paranormal researcher, and spirits do exist. Trust me. Do you like the Poltergeist films?"
Um, I don't necessarily believe that if poltergeists exist that they're necessarily a ghostly entity. I think it could be a result of a lot of people believe in like the stone tape theory, that stuff happens because of what's happened in the past or because of adolescent energy. That's why you have poltergeist energy. But movies, Amityville, that was good. I know I've seen Poltergeist, but I don't remember a lot about it. But like I said, I like stuff that's based on truer stories, So if there's movies about ghosts of Gettysburg or um, like I said, Amityville or a haunting in Connecticut or that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm into that.
Nels ask, "Do you have other heightened senses, smells, hearing, etc.?"
Yes, taste is a big one. Smell, hearing, yes. Um, I'll usually smell something before anybody else does. Taste and texture is a big thing for me because I think it's heightened. Like I will like certain things and totally dislike certain things based on my heightened sense of taste and uh, the texture of stuff. That's a big one. Um, Touch, I think I'm more sensitive to touch sometimes too. So it just depends. Hearing, yes, absolutely. So
Gotcha. Monica
like
King, hello to you.
bass really
Uh-huh.
bothers me.
Really?
Yeah, it hurts my ears.
Gotcha. Monica King asked, "Brandy, how do you feel about MVP wrestling? Do you think he's overshadowing Bobby? Do you think he should just stick to managing?"
I don't necessarily think it was, I don't think they needed him to come back. I still haven't exactly figured that one out. I don't think Bobby needs anybody. He certainly didn't need Lana.
That is very
So,
true.
so
Uh,
I think Bobby could clearly stand on his own. They just need to give him the confidence.
yeah, I agree. We have a Moda alert. Got Moda in the house.
Moda.
Moda says, "Hey Brandy, you are truly an inspiration. I have a special needs daughter, and you are proof and give hope that you can do anything if you want. You want if you put your mind to it. Blessings to you."
Thank you so much. Yes, Kelly's in the chat, and he's a lifelong friend of mine, and he can tell you, like, I don't take no for an answer. I don't believe in the word can't. Um, Dedication, determination, and devotion have kind of been my 3Ds of life, and so you just take what life gives you, and you do the best you can with it, and that's all you can do.
Johnny Bates asks, "What is your favorite type of gimmick? For me, is crazy demonic gimmicks such as Rosemary or Jeff Hardy's Willow."
I like the psychological stuff, like how Mankind was kind of based a little bit off of Hannibal Lecter. I love that. You guys know I love Waylon Mercy. I love the more psychological stuff than maybe necessarily a lot of the darker stuff. And I gotta say, okay, don't laugh at me, but I love the love triangles too. Like, I hate that this was based on real life, but the Lita Matt Hardy Edge thing, I loved it.
That was pretty interesting back in the day.
Totally.
Um, James Chadwick, if you could pick one wrestler from each company to make a faction, who would it be?
Oh, jeez. Okay, Cody, but he has to bring Arn. Um, Cody. I'm gonna go with Finn Balor again. And jeez, I don't know that much about Impact, guys. One of the Good Brothers. One of the Good Brothers. Doesn't matter
There
which.
there you go. Nels ask if you are a fan of ASMR.
Who?
If you're a
What?
fan of ASMR,
I don't know what that is, Nails.
I'm not as. I mean, I think I know it's like sounds and whatnot, but like soothing or different. Nails, just help me out here. with
I like
with
ocean. I
explaining
like
what it
ocean
is.
sounds.
Okay.
I like ocean sounds. I don't remember if you guys knew that I was a counselor, but whenever I do relaxation therapy, I use different sounds and stuff.
Mike Lister asks, "Do you think Bo Dallas will join the Wyatt family one day?"
I want it so much. Let's get it trending on Twitter, guys. Come on. I want it. But maybe he's taking time out to grow his beard. I don't know, but I want it.
That could be the case.
I
Could
think
be the
it could
case.
be. Yeah.
Days fan asked, "Brandy, would you like to see Aleister Black taking the title from Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania 37?"
Okay, Jody, I'm sorry. I want anybody to take the title away from Drew. I don't like it. Sorry, Jody. I love Drew's voice, but his character's just not over for me.
Gotcha. Dave in real life asked, "As a Bret Hart fan, who out of the current day wrestlers would be your dream match up against Bret?"
Um, I'm gonna go with Cody.
Cody?
Yeah, I think that'd be awesome. I mean, Brett had some great matches with Dustin, and I think he could work some magic with Cody in the ring.
I think that would be an awesome matchup. Before I get into the next question, I'm going to explain what ASMR is. Nell says it's heightened sounds, people scratching, rubbing textures, eating. I think they have. I think they do water ones. People whisper. It's like weirdly heightened sounds videos.
That would probably drive me nuts.
Okay, because she was saying she would send them to you.
No, nails, don't. No, you can send me whatever, but don't do that. No, because I pick up on stuff. I'm more in tune to stuff in general. So, no, no.
So Darren says, Brandy, I've only been joining this channel for over a month. You are an inspiration. You are awesome. If there was one match result that you would change in wrestling history, what would it be?
I'm just gonna wipe an entire match from wrestling history to match with Vince, and I don't remember who his tag team partner was, but Shawn Michaels and God. I'm just gonna take that one off the history books.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah, it was
That
really
whole
bad.
thing.
Yeah, it's really, really not good.
Yeah.
Oh, and the gobbledygooker. I'm gonna throw that in there too.
Just the whole reveal of the gobbledygooker, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was terrible. But at least Undertaker didn't end up being Eggman like he thought he was going to.
This is true. This is
So
true.
that's a good thing. TurboCast, welcome. Favorite tag team of all time?
Any tag team that Arn Anderson belonged to. I don't care if it was a version of somebody from the Four Horsemen or if it was the Brainbusters. I don't care. As long as it had the Enforcer in it, I'm there.
There you go. Johnny Bates asked, if you could take any past female wrestler and have her face a current female wrestler, who would it be?
Medusa said this a couple years ago. She's like, I want to kick Asuka's ass. I want that to happen. I want that. Days, deal with it.
That match?
Deal with it, brother. Yeah. Yeah, I want that match.
Okay, so we have a definition here of ASMR. Autonomous sensory meridian response is a relaxing, often sedative sensation that begins on the scalp and moves down the body. So the sounds are supposed to make you feel kind of calm, I guess.
Right,
it helps with.
You can get a lot of that with the ocean sounds and nature sounds and stuff like that. But nails, just the sound of nails, that's not going to help me relax. Or the sound of somebody chewing, that's no. I'm a more fan of the ocean sounds and that kind of stuff.
Gotcha. Okay. James Chadwick asked, who would be in a new NWO?
You'd have to have some type of invasion angle, and I don't see that working with this type of climate right now, because that's what the NWO was. It was a type of an invasion angle. And a lot of times, too, I think you can't recreate history. But right now, I don't necessarily know that it fits in the climate right now.
Gotcha. We do have a day sighting in the chat, and he says, Brandy heel turn. So welcome, Days. And guys, if you have,
wouldn't like to see Medusa fight Asuka. I mean, really.
Guys, if you haven't checked this out yet, we had Days on last night for an interview / Q&A session. Absolutely fantastic. So if you haven't had a chance, go check it out. Let's see. Jake
Days,
Restful
I
News
want you
says,
to sing more. Can you do that for me, Days? Just sing more. Actually, send me an audio file, Days, of you singing Boy Toy.
there you go.
I would love that.
think I think that'll be good.
I would love that.
Jake asked if you could have a current superstar use a Legends theme, who would it be and why?
Okay, do you mean like a gimmick theme or a theme song?
Yeah, theme song.
Dude. That's a really tough question. I would love to see Jimmy Hart do some more stuff. So yeah, I'd love to have a Jimmy Hart influenced theme song of somebody right now. I would enjoy that.
You know who you would like to have that theme?
I don't know. Um, I really don't, but I would enjoy it if they did it. Because a lot of the harder rock stuff that they do, it's hard for me to understand the words that are behind it. But I can tell you somebody's theme song I really do like is Shinsuke Nakamura's. I love his theme song.
I do too. I love the old one. I hate
I
that
like the
they
old one
changed
better.
it up. Yeah,
Yeah,
I hate that they changed it up.
and then of course Voices. I love that. That's one of my ringtones. So
Gotcha. Darren asked if Undertaker and Kane had a third brother, who would you have as him? I'd go with Damian Priest.
uh, is it Sunny Kiss? That's the really dark one in AEW. Am I right? Is it Sunny Kiss
No.
or is it?
Trying to think.
Days called him Little Undertaker one time, and I agreed. But for some reason, I was thinking it was Sunny Kiss, but I must be wrong. But that guy in AEW, who comes out in the body bag and stuff. That would
Jimmy
be cool.
Havoc.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Another
Or
guy.
Darby Allin. Or Darby Allin.
Maybe
Which
it's Darby Allin. I'm thinking maybe it's Darby Allin. But I love that.
Gotcha. James Chadwick says he would go with the Monster Abyss.
Okay, I can see that.
Jake says the Fiend.
Nah, he stands alone. If anything, he'll have his own stable or cult or whatever.
Whatever he so desires.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you could throw Aleister Black in there with the Undertaker, but no, I think Bray, the Fiend, whatever, he stands by himself.
Yeah, I think I don't think he would need to be a part of that for sure.
No.
So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna do one more from Darren here. He's gonna be the last question. And then Brandy, if you have something that you want to say at the end here, we'll let you wrap it up. But Darren says favorite finisher.
Diamond Cutter.
Diamond Cutter. That's
Self high five.
There you go. All right, guys. Well, thank you all so much for asking all of your questions, and we'll do this again. What we I don't want to speak out of turn, but I'm just going to throw this out there anyway. We're planning to do these with each of the members of the Insiders. So different times we'll just have different members of our family here. come on and do this same thing, so you can ask all of us questions. So we'll keep you posted on when the next one is. Um, Nell said, let's see, I just did a bang for Brandy, a good old DDP bang.
That's awesome.
Um,
Feel the bang. Yes, it's awesome. Love it.
so Brandy, anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
Kelly, you're in trouble with me because I expected at least two questions, but
He gave
no,
you two.
thank.
He gave you two. I just didn't read his name the first time. That was my fault. But he gave you two.
Oh, okay, all right. You guys, thank you so much. I've been looking so forward to this. Like, being in the environment I'm in, uh, it's hard to come up with a lot of stuff to do. And man, I've been thinking about this for the past couple days and just really excited about it. Like today, I was bored. I couldn't figure out what I wanted to listen to, and I came up with a promo against COVID. So maybe I'll share that with you guys next week or something. But um, a really good friend of the show sent me a wrestling book. She sent me Incomparable by Brie Bella and Nikki Bella. And I wasn't sure what to expect. And I haven't finished the book, but I'm going to go ahead and recommend it because I have enough confidence in it already. You really get a lot behind the scenes. It's just not surface stuff with these two. And Brie has always been kind of more of my favorite than Nikki, but they really have an interesting story to tell. So if that's something you feel like you want to take the time and invest your money in, it's worth it. Um, and other than that, keep throwing some questions. I had so much fun with this. Thank you to Jeff, my partner. I couldn't do this without you, buddy. And you guys stay safe and take care of each other.
That's awesome, and that's how we're going to leave this one today, guys. Thank you so much for your questions, all of your comments. I couldn't get to all of them, so I apologize, but definitely there were. Brandy, you got a lot of comments in the comment section, just expressing love and prayers for you, and uh, a lot of people here, including myself, um, you know, think that you're an inspiration, and your strength, your positive attitude, and your outlook on life has definitely helped a lot of people, including me. So I want to thank you for that. I mean, honestly, just thank you so much for being a beacon of light in this community and in the world. Um, so, guys, we are going to take off now. Thank you for joining us tonight. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to our channel. You can also find us on Facebook, uh, Twitch, and Periscope.
And
In
your
terms,
favorite podcasting app.
that's right. That's right. I was just about to say, and if you want to take us on the go, we are on every single podcast app. So take us on the go. If you want to listen to us when you're riding down the road, do that. We will be back on Monday for Abby's Window at 6 p.m. Eastern. We'll be on again on Tuesday for a watch along for Impact. So join us then. As always,
Woohoo.
at 10:15 Eastern, we will have our podcast, the Insiders Wrestling Podcast, on. Gary, Gary Cassidy, shout out to Gary. I feel bad for him because he always stays up late for us. He fell asleep, which is perfectly fine because the man, I mean, it's 4 a.m., 3 and 4 a.m. over there. So the man works really hard, and, he deserved that break. So we'll have him back on Wednesday. And then next Friday, you can join us again for another episode of the Hot Tag. So for Brandy,
Hey,
for
Jeff, you want to
Joey,
tell him who we're going to talk about?
I'll let you tell him.
You guys, we're going to start with who you guys have been waiting for. I've had some special requests, but we're going to talk about the Macho Man. Dig it? And
Yeah.
oh yeah. And my plan is to do a
I'm not Joe.
W.
I can't great impression, so sorry.
Uh, I'm just gonna say that Joe, you don't use enough foul language to be Vince. But I want to do a WWF episode of Macho Man and then move on to WCW because I think there's a lot to say about both of those incarnations of the Macho Man. And we're going to throw a Sherry episode in there because you cannot have the Macho King without Queen Sherry. So, you guys, that's what we have to look forward to in the next couple of weeks. And Gary Cassidy, that's another voice I love. So, keep listening, keep tuning in. We love to do it. It's all for you guys. And I hope you have a good evening.
Monica King said, I tried. Yes, I did. I really tried. I don't know how successful it was, but I tried. All right, guys. We will talk to you again Monday. Have a great weekend, everyone. Stay safe. Wear your mask. And we will talk with you again real soon. Take care.